Hey guys,
Hey everybody.
today is day 17 of our Halloween movie challenge, and today we watched Friday the 13th, Part 2. This one, I believe, came out in 1981, and it takes place right after the first one, pretty much.
Yeah.
Um, Now, with this one huge advantage is that we actually see Jason in this one, which is great. Um, it's still no hockey mask though. This is Jason with the bag over his
Yeah,
head.
it's like the sack.
Yeah, with a hole cut out for one of the eyes. Um, the movie was fun. It was enjoyable. Um, to me, even though this is Jason, this is not the Jason that I know and like love. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
It's not quite there yet, but you can see that they're going that way.
Yeah.
Um, the let me see here. So one of the things that I hate and love, as weird as that sounds, about this movie is the beginning. I hate the fact that the first like 8 minutes of this movie is just recapping
I know.
the first movie. It's kind of it. I don't know. It's just so random. Like you're watching this film, and the first like 5 to 10 minutes is legitly her having the main actress from the main character from the first movie that survived. She's having like flashback like nightmares
Yep.
of what happened, and they legitly recap like the entire like main plot pretty much. So if you didn't watch the first one, you could just watch the beginning of this one and pretty much
Yep.
know what happened. So I kind of thought that went on way too long than it needed to. But the thing I loved about it was that the movie wasn't scared to kill her right in the very beginning.
Yeah.
She was the main character in the last movie, and they show her for, I don't know, 15 minutes in this movie and kill her off. So
Yeah, it was about like 15 minutes.
yeah, it wasn't long. I mean, and she's she's like, her name is like one of the earlier names you see in the credits and stuff too. So you would have thought that she would have been a bigger part. So that's what I mean by I love and hate the beginning of this movie.
Yeah.
Um, you want to add anything to that?
Well, see, me, I'm not to jump ahead,
Mm-hmm.
but I wasn't a huge fan of the end.
Yeah, let's
Um,
let's let's save the end though first.
yeah,
Because
but
I,
that's
I,
why
I know
that's
what you're gonna say.
I
Yeah,
won't go into it.
yeah.
But I will say I'm not a fan.
Was that it though? Like, was that like your only kind of gripe? Was that
I think that was my only gripe.
okay? But what did you think of like the beginning or like anything like that? The middle.
I agree with you. The beginning, I feel like I don't want to say wasted.
Yeah, it's not
I feel like it
wasted.
was just maybe too much time went into like recapping.
Yeah.
So I don't want to necessarily say a waste of time, um, but I will say I think too much time was
It felt
put
like
towards
filler.
recap.
It felt like
Yes,
filler. Like
it did.
we even see her like on the phone
Yeah,
and like I don't know. It was like
it did.
filler.
I don't know. It did.
And
It seemed like it was
the other thing
filler.
too that's kind of funny about that beginning is that she's not at Crystal Lake. She's not at the camp.
Yes. Yeah.
So I guess Jason like took a bus, went to went to her house,
Apparently.
killed her. You know, there was a little kid walking through the water in the beginning. I don't know if you remember that, but he's walking through, like before we
Yeah.
see the house. He's walking through the puddles. The mom calls him. As soon as he walks away, Jason steps in the puddle. So he's like right there. He's like literally in arm's reach of this kid, and the mom's just like, "Get out of the rain." Don't. Maybe she didn't see the guy with the sack on his head, but she
The
was like
sack with only one hole.
with the one hole for the eye.
He can get many places very quickly without one little hole.
Yeah. The So let me see. So then after that happens, we see the crazy guy from the first movie too.
Yep.
He's in the movie.
Ralph.
Ralph, that's right. Yeah, he's in the movie too. And another one. He from the first movie, but he doesn't last long. He's in the
He
beginning,
doesn't.
and he's one of, I think he's the second kill in the movie. Jason kills him like right in the beginning of the movie
Yep.
too. So it's almost like the movie was like, you know what? Don't worry about the first movie. We're gonna kill
Yeah.
we're gonna kill the people from the first movie, so you guys don't even worry about it.
Yeah, that was my only thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't a bad movie.
Yeah.
but I feel like it was filler in the beginning.
Yeah. Another thing that's weird too is Jason kills two people with the back end of the machete. There's the one guy that's hanging upside down.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
He
Yes.
uses the back end to slice his throat, and then the dude in the wheelchair. It was a cool kill. He, like hits him right in the forehead with the blade, but the back end of the blade, not the front, not the part that you
Oh,
would
yeah, the
use.
sharp, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like if you're gonna
Yeah.
slice someone's throat or chop him in the head, you would use the curved
The
part of the
sharp
blade. He didn't use it. Unless I'm wrong. If there's any psycho murderers out there that know better than I do, let me know. But I'm pretty sure you used the rounded edge. You know what I mean?
The sharp edge.
The sharp edge, yeah. The curve of the blade is what I meant. But yeah, so that was kind of different. Like I said, the kills were cool, but it was different.
The kills were okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's still at that point where it's a lot like the first movie where there's still a lot of corniness in it.
Yep.
Like you can tell that the franchise is still trying to find itself at this point, because like one kill that pops in, actually there's two of them, is the couple that's in the bed. Jason comes in with the spear, and he spear, you just see it cuts from the girl looking at him. She gets wide-eyed. Then the spear
At the bottom of the
at the
bed.
bottom of the bed with the blood, so we don't actually see it go through anybody, but you know that's what it was. And then when the friend, the brunette, comes in and she sees the blankets up, and then when she goes to reach for the blankets, Jason sits up and comes
Yep.
at her with a knife and does that shot from behind the hand, and it's like slow kind of coming.
Yeah.
So you can tell that the franchise was still trying to find itself. It like I said, it was moving the right way. In my opinion, I mean, I guess I kind of like the second one better than the first one, because just the fact that there is Jason, you know who it is right from the beginning. It's not like the first movie where it kind of like lingers and you're kind of figuring out who it is. But like I said, this isn't the Jason that I really liked, like the powerful big guy.
Yeah.
Like even the actor that played him, I mean, I'm sure he's a big guy maybe in real life, but in the movie he didn't look that big. Like even the part where one of the girls they're trapped in the car, she's able to knock him back. When she opens the door, she hits him in the
Yeah.
stomach, he falls back. The later Jasons, that would have never happened. He's just such a
He's a
monster of a
machine.
man, yeah. And I actually think even in the next one, the third one, he's much bigger. So nothing against this Jason, but I prefer the bigger
Yeah.
Jasons. So we talked about some of the kills. There's nudity in this movie again. The Jason franchise is known for that.
Yep.
Pretty well with that. Definitely straight slasher for this one. You got all kinds of things that like, I don't want to say that don't make sense, but it's just you just kind of just ignore it. Like I said,
Yeah.
with Jason killing the people with the back of the machete. I believe there's a part where like one of the girls is having trouble starting the car. The guy opens up the hood of the car. Well, actually the trunk, because the engine's in the back, I think, and he doesn't do anything, and the car just starts working now. So like little things like that, you just kind of go, well, it's 1981. It's a slasher movie, but it was still fun. It was fun, and it's short. It's even less than an hour and a half, which is fantastic if you ask me.
Yeah.
So I think we can talk about the end now, because you
Yeah.
wanted to talk about the end. So for me, I liked the jump at the end.
Yes, that I like.
Like after they fight,
I even jumped.
you jumped, yeah. Like that jump scare where Jason comes through the window without the mask, the bag, I mean, and he grabs the actress, or the character. So that was, I actually liked that part. But right before that part, let's just back up a little bit. The actress gets out of being killed by putting on the sweatshirt of the mom
And pretending to
and
be her.
pretending to be the mom. I never liked that about this character, about Jason, because even I think in the next one, it's a very similar situation where I never cared for that. Like I thought that was just
You,
kind
like,
of
psychologically fool him.
yeah, like so it's like, is he dumb? Is he just a dumb? You know what I mean? Like I like Jason the character, but with things like that, it's almost like he's too stupid to realize. You know, and maybe that's not the right word, but like with other guys, with other like slashers and other villains, there's usually more to it. Like, she just puts on a sweatshirt and starts talking like the mom, or that she thinks talks like the mom.
Well, in that case, there has to be something psychologically wrong.
Yeah, and he kind of falls for it. He, like, up until the very end, he brings up the
Well,
the
she moves
pitchfork or
over
whatever.
a little bit, and
And
can
he
see
sees the
mother's
head. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm just misunderstanding, but I always felt like that was just a cheap like thing
Yeah.
by the writers to kind of like just make it happen, because he would have killed her. He had her pinned to. She had nowhere to run. She was
Yeah.
trapped in there, and he was there to get her. She would have died. So I don't know. I never really cared much for that, but then it goes into the thing where the guy, not Tommy. What's his name?
I can't remember.
Paul, I think his name is. I don't know.
Oh, Paul. Yes.
Is it Paul? Yeah, it's Paul. He
Yeah.
comes in. He like starts fighting with him a little bit, and that's how they end up getting away. And they go into the place. And by the way, they say Paul a lot. Now that I'm thinking about it, it is Paul, because I remember the part where they're fighting in the house, and she just keeps saying Paul. There's somebody in the house, and she just keeps repeating Paul, Paul, Paul. While they're fighting, she won't help. Let's just keep calling out Paul over and over again, which is kind of funny. But yeah, so then that jump scare happens, right? Where he breaks through the window. After they open the door, you see the dog, right? You think it's just a false jump scare. Then Jason jumps through. Now, what did you want to talk about that? What did you want to say about that, I should say?
So, one is, so he jumps through the window. He grabs onto her, and it kind of goes into like slow motion. Paul jumps in. We're assuming Paul jumps in because we only saw him jump through, and then it was her. And then my gripe with that part is then all of a sudden it cuts to her going into an ambulance. So like you don't even like, it just seemed like the part was so rushed so they could get to the end, because one, you don't know how she survived it. Two, we have no idea where Paul is, which I'm assuming, yes, there's room for the third movie to explain, but I think it was sort of not so much rushed, almost like they didn't really have time, or they didn't have the answer as to finishing that part. So they just kind of threw her into an ambulance, and almost like you'll find out the next movie exactly what happens from like almost like a recap type thing. But I don't know. I just didn't. That I wasn't a fan of.
It's almost
at
like
all.
it felt like they like cut stuff out that shouldn't have been cut.
Like
But
I feel like we kind of like skipped over a scene.
Yeah, but I think what they were trying to do is like the end of the first one, Jason pops out of the water and grabs the main character.
Yeah.
And I think they were trying to go for that same idea, because after Jason pops out of the water in the first one, it then shows her at the hospital. So I think they kind of went for that same idea where we're gonna have him pop out again, and then we're just gonna cut to the character being put in the hospital. But
Yeah,
but
I get that.
I think that's what they were going for. You know, it's the same type of thing. You know what I mean? It's the same. But I mean, I guess we could fill in the blanks. I mean, I'm assuming that Paul would have jumped in again and saved her, and she made it, and he didn't. And I can't remember if the third one explains that, to be honest with you.
One thing you guys learn is I hate assuming in a movie. You know this about me.
I know you've never liked it.
hate
Where
the
they end it and you
assuming.
just have to guess.
I hate the assuming. It's just like, just answer the questions and just, you know what I mean? I'm not a huge fan of assuming things in a movie.
Yeah, I know it's tough. Like I said, I think they just went with that to try to copy the first ending. That's what I think.
But that's my only like real big gripe about it. Was it a bad movie? No.
Yeah,
That
it was fun.
That was my only big gripe about it.
There you go. Yeah, I know. I kind of I agree. I mean, it was a fun movie to watch. You know what I mean? It's cool. You know, especially seeing like I had mentioned in the last Jason one, that you see that their the progression with the character, because he doesn't even have the hockey mask yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you see that he's still very human-like in this one. Even though his face is deformed and stuff, he still kind of gave me a very human vibe. Whereas the later Jasons, there's nothing human about him.
Yeah.
He's a super zombie or whatever. You know, being able to get stabbed and shot, and he doesn't. You know, nothing happens to him. But yeah, it was fun. It was pretty cool to check out. So I enjoyed it. I liked it. You pretty much liked
Yeah.
it too. Yeah. So yeah, so that's our video on the Friday the 13th Part 2, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Yeah, thank you for watching. We really appreciate it. Please like, comment, and subscribe.
Yep.
And make sure, so you guys don't miss any of our videos, hit the bell notification.
Thank you, guys.
Have a good night.
Good night.